Shalom. Kahalam La Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Wahara Kakundash. And this is another gradualism update, which I'll be covering the Senate crypto bills debuts. Senate crypto bill debuts, and crypto industry gets big win. And this was put out. This article was put out on payments.com June 7th, 2022, in which they're pretty much trying to make, they declared they came with a proposal to make cryptocurrency available in regular day-to-day payments and etc., which we know is a complete digital currency. All right. But before I get going into it, I want to say double honors. I want to give up double honors to the hopefully elect elder apostles, hoping to be saved, Lord willing, starting with the men at the Great Millstone Church, and on shalom to the rest that may be out here, out here under the same doctrine, been out here under the same doctrine. Onward to the Akim here at this faction of this hopeful elect assembly, in the order of teaching, giving all diligence and all true faith and sincerity, doing what they can do. All right, and to the rest of the believers, shalom to you as well, and on this faith of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, who people ignorantly call God and Jesus Christ. All right, of the Israelite race, you few women, children, and some men. So, yeah, I'm gonna jump into it. It says, in a big win for the crypto industry, a pair of senators proposed bipartisan legislation that would drastically reduce the authority of the Securities and Exchange Commission. SEC is what that's what the SEC stands for, Security and Exchange Commissions. It says grant tax exemptions. Yeah, it says grant tax exemptions that would make it far easier to use cryptocurrencies for small day-to-day payments and set ground rules for stable coins. Exactly. So these coins is just a new form of money. All right, but going to bipartisan, involving the agreement of cooperation of two political parties that usually oppose each other's policies. So, for example, Democrats versus Republicans. Okay, the reforms is how they're going to use this in a sentence, this word bipartisan. It says the reforms receive considerable bipartisan approval. Right, so approval from both sides. They're able to agree. And when something is able to agree, what happens? The opposite of Matthew 12 and 25 on down, which is a kingdom standing, because they can agree. But I'm going to come back to this. So when we come back here and read this once again, in a big win for crypto industry, right? This is despite the crash that just took place, which isn't going to change the role that the cryptocurrencies have been used to do, which is graduate people onto, the use of digital money, outright digital money, Digicoin, CBDCs, central bank digital coins, or digital currencies. All right, that's what this cryptocurrency is about. So just to note that that's not changing the fact that has done that, and that's what the cryptocurrencies do. Just because, despite the crashes, the monstrous crashes that's been taking place. But it says, in a big win, which this came out before that, I've just been sitting on this. It says, and this is what I was talking to you, Akim about, that you were speaking to about this on. This is that legislation they proposed. So in a big win for the crypto industry, a pair of senators proposed, right, bipartisan legislation. And for those that don't know what senators do, what does it mean to be a senator? A senator is a person who works in the government. In the United States, senators are elected by voters to represent them in a state or federal senate. Each state in the United in the U.S. elects 2 senators who serve 6-year terms in Washington, D.C., where they pass laws and vote on policies. Senate.gov. U.S. Senate powers and procedures. The Senate takes action. The Senate takes action on bills, resolutions, amendments, motions, nominations, and treaties by voting. Senators vote in a variety of ways, including roll call votes, voice votes, and unanimous consent. So when you come to the site, Senate rules. The Senate is governed by the Constitution, a set of standing rules, precedents established in the course of the legislative process, and special rules of procedure adopted by statute for particular types of legislation. These rules determine how bills and resolutions are moved toward passage, the structure of Senate committees, how debate proceeds on the chamber floor, and how members cast votes. So once the Senate is involved, that's when something is able to go through, to say the least. Okay. The Constitution gives, this is treaties, the Constitution gives the Senate the power to approve by a 2/3 vote treaties made by the executive branch. The Senate has rejected relatively few of the hundreds of treaties it has considered. Although many have died in committee or been withdrawn by the president, the Senate may also amend a treaty or adopt changes to a treaty. The president may also enter into executive agreements with foreign nations that are not subject to Senate approval. So pretty much everything goes through the Senate. Pretty much everything. It says the Senate takes action on bills, as we read, resolutions, amendments, motions, nominations, and treaties by voting. Senators vote in a variety of ways, including, as I read, roll calls, voice votes, and you see unanimous consent. So that adds some merit to this being, a big move, a big gradual move forward towards which we know everything is simply what we know that everything to be coming down to, which is that Mark Jackson, that Mark Cuban, that Mark Beasley, by this, because it says the senators propose bipartisan legislation, right, from both sides, from the Democrats and the Republicans, that will drastically reduce the authority of the Securities and Exchange Commission, right, SEC, grant tax exemptions that will make it far easier to use cryptocurrencies for small day-to-day payments, and set ground rules for stable coins. So you pretty much, they're getting involved in pretty much they're getting it. How can I say this? They putting it amongst you, like they want to put it amongst us, just like the and make it operative, just like the these FRNs, these Federal Reserve notes. They said it's gonna have tax exemptions now, because this is why it ain't big yet. The cryptocurrency is not even backed by anything, which is another reason it's been crashing. But cryptocurrency was just used as gradualism to get people once again more familiarized and more about CBDCs, digital currencies, central bank digital currencies. So that's pretty much it. This is a big move. They trying to get this thing completely approved and functional, in society, to where people will be spending on this. That's and it don't necessarily have to be these ones that everyone talks about, such as Bitcoin, or Ethereum, and so Dogecoin, one that's been marketed and pushed by Elon Musk, who they said pretty much was just because pretty much it came out he was in on a pyramid scheme with that But that's a whole nother thing. And that really, but like I said, it doesn't change none of that. So I don't even want to say what I was about to go on and say, because it'll just negate the fact of them doing this, which is a completely gradual step towards this. And this is the act they introduced. It says the Responsible Financial Innovation Act, and introduced on Tuesday, June 7th, is a piece of bipartisan legislation by Senate Cynthia Loomis, R. Wyoming, and Senate Kirsten Gillibrand, New York, NY. It says that seeks to create a broad and all-inclusive regulatory and legal framework for cryptocurrencies, right? Because it's not, the government they can't really control cryptocurrencies just yet. Like, it's not a government, but now this what this move is bringing forth. It's not a government-owned and controlled thing necessarily. It says stablecoins and decentralized finance, DeFi market, including tax policy. So there's a lot of things you can go into, to understand on this, but that's really the point of this. But I'm gonna read I'm gonna read through on a little bit more of this. I'm gonna actually read to the end. It says, crucially, it will also create a common set of definitions, making clear what digital assets, virtual currencies, exactly. Digital assets. Let me read it again. Crucially, it will also create a common set of definitions, making clear what digital assets, virtual currencies, stable coins, smart contracts, and other key part of the new technology are. It will also create an industry self-regulatory body. From a payments perspective, two features stand out. This is what they think, the site, right? These people at the site. It says, first, the bill would exclude crypto purchases under $200 from having to report capital gains to the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS. A complex task that is currently required for any purchase, even a cup of coffee, right? So it says this bill would exclude cryptocurrencies from having to deal with that purchases that's under $200, which that's gonna make it popular. That's gonna make people want to deal with it more. So those are like the incentives that they put behind this act to get it involved in everyday use society. See that? Which, if people hear about that, they're going to, more people will start transferring over to that method of paying, that and being okay with that. Okay? So it says, from having to report capital gains to Internal Revenue Service, IRS, and you're going to have more people getting into the business of it. It says a complex task that is currently required for any purchase, even a cup of coffee. Second, it will require stable coins to be 100% backed by fiat currency and a limited but underdetermined set of high liquid investments such as treasuries, right? Because it's not backed by anything. But what they're trying to create this act to where people are more willing to take it on through the incentives. And then they're just getting people more used to this method of thinking by throwing more of their agenda, more of the words that's of their agenda around. Getting people used to Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and stuff like that. It ain't necessarily gonna be what the Mark, Beasley is gonna be, but is the Mark Beasley will be based in which is the universal currency to come to buy or sell. It is going to be based digitally. All right. Yeah. And the main thing they said it will require stable coins. Let's get stable coins. You see, this is all stable coins are. All right. Stable coins are cryptocurrencies that attempt to peg their market value to some external reference. Stable coins are more useful than more volatile cryptocurrencies as a medium of exchange. Stable coins may be pegged to a currency like the US dollar or the price of commodities such as gold. So these stable coins, they're just nothing but these cryptocurrencies. Simply, stable coins are cryptocurrencies, as it says, where the price is designed to be pegged to a cryptocurrency, fiat money, or exchange traded commodities. Yeah, stable coins are cryptocurrencies that attempt to peg their market value to some external reference. Okay. Different stable coins. So they cryptocurrencies. Stable coin is a digital currency that is pegged to a stable reserve asset like the US dollar or gold. Let's get this real quick. Stable coins are designed to reduce volatility relative to unpegged cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. So reading this again, it says what? Stable coins are designed to reduce volatility relative to unpegged cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. Yeah, and volatility going into basically changing drastically, like Bitcoin. That's exactly what just happened to Bitcoin. It has a lot of volatility, which makes it able to. It's basically not stable, and the main reason because it's not backed by anything. Right, which is what unpeg mean. Cease. It says unfastened by the removal of pegs. Cease to maintain a fixed relationship between a currency, in parentheses, and another currency. It ceases to maintain a fixed relationship. Like it's not. Bitcoin, for instance, is not able to stay stable, which it causes it to fluctuate because it's not backed by anything. So it's only pretty much as good as people say it is. So if people might be feeling like Bitcoin it's the mood today, everybody invests, and then tomorrow they could just change their mind, which would be because it's not backed by anything. It has no value, and that's why it crashed so much. Because you got a lot of people that are compensating for the inflation that's taking place right now. So they're pulling out a lot of their money that's invested in certain places. Even if they thought it would be the best move due to this inflation, you really seeing where people, you really finding out what's really valuable to people. And you finding out that obviously Bitcoin is not it. These cryptocurrencies not it. Why? Because they're not actual money. It's not backed by anything. But that's the difference between those particular type of ones and stable coins. You got stable coins that are cryptocurrencies that are backed, hence pegged by other currencies, which causes them to be stable. They're not able to fluctuate. You're not gonna see, as much as the inflation going up, you're not gonna see people pulling out their gold. You're not gonna see that, because gold it's not really gonna lose its value until everything collapses, which is in the scriptures. But that really doesn't mean that gold has become valueless. It's just society will have reached a point to where it can't do anything with gold anymore, and that's what's coming to America. It's gonna get devastated that bad. But that's a whole nother thing. Reading this again, a stable coin is a digital currency that is pegged to a stable reserve asset like the US dollar or gold. Well, the US dollar not really backed by anything. as well as a fiat, because fiat is basically is money that has been deemed money by the government through some legislation, but that don't mean it actually has value. It's legal tender. What you're able to pay with and use and say is money, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's actually money. You know what I'm saying? They could make toothpicks of fiat currency. You know, banana peels. Everybody started using banana peels. That's the equivalent of $1. You know, really, the banana peels got more value than a damn dollar. You know, even a particular paper they use. So that's what a fiat is. But it says stable coins are designed to reduce volatility related to unpegged cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. So if you're paying attention, you can understand where it's going. All right. I gotta read this. Stable coins bridge the worlds of cryptocurrencies, currency, and everyday fiat currency, because their prices are pegged to reserve asset like the US dollar or gold. Right. You got particular ones that you're gonna have certain people get behind, and they're gonna become valuable. But they're gonna do that. You have these being the case because they're trying to move towards digital money. Why would you have particular stable coins or cryptocurrencies backed? Why? And then they passing a law to create more legal framework for stable coins. So they trying to get these stable coins, meaning the cryptocurrencies that are backed, not like Doggy Coin, which they said was backed by nothing, which was pushed by Elon Musk just to get rich, but like stable ones. Why would they be coming up with bipartisan Senate proposals? Why would they be doing that while the dollar is completely losing value? They finna make the move. It says this dramatically reduces volatility compared to something like Bitcoin and results in a form of digital money that is better suited to everything from day-to-day commerce to making transfers between exchanges. Yeah, it's heavy, man. Okay. So back here, it says second, it would require, back on the article going into the legislation they passed, it says, or they're trying to pass, it says second, it will require stable coins to be backed, 100% backed. So completely, they're pushing for the pushing of stable coins by these investors, these rich Edomites, and that's this, creating these, they're the pioneers, and the people that's how, like Lex Luthor's, the Mads or your Mark Zuckerbergs, the ones that got the mind to create these things, and you got those that are involved with those that have the mind to create these things that they think are going to be the next move. That's really all of the spirit of the Lord that the Lord is going to have these Edomites be on, which is something he's going to have the whole world being on, which is this whole AI digital robot, human/robot mark of the beast stuff, man. So they're pushing this law to push more of those people, of their people, to come on out with it. Come on with it. Y'all, let's do it. If y'all gonna do it, let's like, this is the legal framework they're talking about. It says second, it will require stable coins to be backed 100%. So you got stable coins that are backed, but they want to ensure that people, that the investors behind these designers and stuff like that, these mad scientists, if you will, are completely gonna have them backed by fiat currency and a limited but underdetermined set of highly liquid investments such as treasuries. So fiat currency, just basically fiat currency is only able to be used because people say it's something. It doesn't necessarily mean it got value, but they say it's something. So if you say something is something, it's like an artificial value. So they can back these stable coins with artificial value, because they never gonna really have any value. Ain't nothing valuable about digital. There's nothing valuable about digital. It's not nothing that Earth can use or we can benefit or eat or anything. Like, it ain't no real value. That's why, the Lord and the ancient way is 100% it, man. They even admit this. But it says, so that's basically it. The quote unquote, the Responsible Financial Innovation Act creates regulatory clarity for agencies charged with supervising digital assets. That digital asset markets provides a strong, tailored regulatory framework for stablecoins and integrates digital assets into our existing tax and banking laws, said Loomis, quote unquote, said Loomis, quote unquote, said Loomis, right, who is a strong supporter of cryptocurrencies and long-time Bitcoin investor. It also gets into central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, by calling for a study of China digital yuan by security and defense agencies. As CBCDs are, quote unquote, are growing in prevalence, the release said, quote unquote, it's important that the U.S. understands the national security implications of the digital yuan and China's intention to promote its adoption internationally. Yeah, so they want to make sure this is about to be the move. It's people about to make the move forward on this. It does not, however, get into the question of whether the U.S. should issue a CBDC of its own, a digital dollar. See? So, and they just proved the whole point. All of this is to get to a new dollar, a digital dollar. Look how the article ended. So this is going to happen because this is with it being a bipartisan Senate proposal. I mean, both sides was in agreement. There's one thing these devils going to be in agreement on, which we know with this being the case, they're going to bring this DeMarc Beasley to pass because they in agreement on it. It says Matthew 12:25, and Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. See? And every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. They're not divided on that. So that law gonna get passed, and you see that's something they not struggling with. Why? Because that's that one mind, that's that one world agenda, that's that universal money that has got to come to pass. That Mark, he calls it all. He's talking about the so-called white man, the powers that be. All of them gonna see eye to eye on that, because it's of their world. They can't resist the will of the Father. See that? And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. And how shall then his kingdom stand? Exactly. So this is not going to be the end. They're gonna agree on this. This is that simple. So call halam la Yahweh ba'ashem Yahushai wa Hawa Shalom.